to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we approve the agenda, could we also, because we got one, our members that's not here tonight, and we thought it might be a good idea to have everybody here for for V, B, and VC, future employee benefit package and town sale policy. Can we approve the agenda by removing those and doing them next week? Move those to the regular meeting, and other than that, approve the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the omission of items 5B and 5C.
Cool. All right. You got any discussion? All in favor? Great. Department reports. Anybody got any questions or want to talk about anything on this?
Is Derek back full-time now? Is Derek back?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, I was looking for him, but I didn't see him. I just wondered.
Next on the agenda?
I've got something. I mean, we go through this real quick, and then we ask anybody got anything and don't ever hear from anybody. I know if you hadn't read it, you wonder, as far as some of the department heads, I'd just like to ask Glenn, buddy, how many men are y'all down to right now?
What you see right here is what we have. That's it.
You held up 2 fingers. They said 3.
That's 4.
Okay, 2 people besides Glenn. Okay, well, I know we have, there's been some freezing and stuff. I thought y'all were in a lot better shape than you were. I see you out at air fire calls, and it's the same ones every night. If we have a storm or anything like we have had in the past, I feel for y'all because I know you're not going to be able to get it in. I think we better take a real close look right now at what our big needs are, and I think you've got one.
We've got one position advertised for the 3rd class position. Are we getting any kind of application for
Now,
that?
I read there wasn't anything advertised
It says
for the electrical
It
department.
said,
Yeah, we got one advertised.
One advertised?
I can't hear you,
well,
Scott. What'd you say?
It has been advertised for months. We have an offer out for a Line Tech 3 that hasn't been accepted. We're working on getting onboarded as we speak.
Okay. Now, up until, what, 2 weeks ago, we did have 4 members. Did you lose one? Well, the youngest one that's came on, he left?
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't go to another one of our departments as far as within the town?
No, he left the town.
Okay.
Anything else? Next on the agenda is Tanner with text 2025-04, stormwater.
Hello. So we have seen this text amendment last time. I've brought it back to you tonight, and we also have Beth here, who's our stormwater consultant, to answer any questions you might have about stormwater and maybe give you some more insight into the text amendment itself. As far as the general description here, text amendment 04 is a petition to include a footnote on the subdivision requirement table requiring stormwater provisions to be designed to the maximum impervious surface ratio of the zoning district. For example, this table shows R30, but the note would apply to all residential zoning districts. The note would read, developers for major subdivisions must incorporate the maximum allowable impervious surface ratio per lot into their stormwater calculations. At the discretion of the administrator, lots that exceed 2 times the minimum lot size for the district may be exempted from this provision. In this example, the developer would need to build their stormwater systems with 50% impervious surface in mind, because that, I know it's really hard to see, it's tiny, but 50% impervious surface area in mind. The staff proposed amendment came about because of a common issue between homeowners wanting to build accessory structures, patios, etc. on their lot to the UDO maximum impervious surface ratio, but subdivision developers often design their systems to only handle a percentage of that. Without building stormwater systems designed to the maximum impervious surface ratio, individual homeowners are not able to build on their private lots to the extent allowable by the ordinance.
Tanner, how many people will this affect that's already in the process of doing this?
Sure. So anyone who already has a application submitted would have permit choice. So they would be able to either follow the old rules or follow the new rules. Presumably they would want to follow the old rules, but they wouldn't be able to pick and choose. But they would have permit choice if they have an application already in. I believe there's one pending application that we have for a major subdivision.
What is the county's current requirements?
So the county is, I work with the county and the town, which makes a nice little synergy there.
You want to talk into the microphone.
Okay. I'm pretty loud. The county, right now has adopted a new stormwater ordinance that's gonna become effective January 1st.
Okay.
In that ordinance, the requirement is gonna be a minimum of 6,000 square feet of built-upon area or impervious surfaces per lot. And that's based upon some desktop analysis, and this is for residential. I should go back to, let me back up and say that it's for residential subdivisions served by septic systems, not by sewer. Sewer, the lots are gonna be smaller, and 6,000 square feet of impervious surfaces may take up the entire lot, and that may not be realistic. So this only applies to those in the county, to those residential lots that are on septic. The piece that we've run into here with the town, when I'm reviewing the stormwater piece for y'all, is your zoning ordinance says one thing, but something different is submitted by the design engineer. The issue that we've run into with the county is the county requires the limit be recorded on the plat, and then that is what the homeowner is held to. In the past, a home builder may be limited to 2,500 square feet of built-upon area. And so there is no ability to go outside of that. So at the initial build, it can be problematic because the builder wants to have something more than that. So it was in the design criteria up front that the designers put together. And then the builder has to either expand the built-upon area footprint by adding an engineered BMP on each individual lot. That's problematic because then the town is responsible for ensuring those BMPs are in place and functioning long-term. They're forever and ever and ever. Or a home owner purchases that property and they're limited to what they can put on it without having to go through another review cycle and having an individual BMP developed for their lot. Now, the BMPs that are lot level, or SCMs, I should say, the stormwater control measures that are lot level don't address the full stormwater build-out. It just addresses like a water quality issue, not a water quantity issue. So it doesn't address flooding. So we're kind of putting our homeowners, once they purchase that lot, in a predicament of how they can use their property without having to put a lot more money into it and without having to cause a problem for stormwater. So the county's response to that is setting this minimum 6,000 square feet. We went back and took a look at, we did kind of a desktop analysis of built-upon area for existing properties that were probably, we did this back in 2019, so they were existing residential properties, and tried to look at what does the new product look like. And that includes a larger footprint, the outbuildings a lot of times, patios, larger driveways, and garages. And so the footprint is larger. What we found was around 4,500 square feet is enough for the initial build and give a little bit of slush in there for the homeowner to come in and put a pool in and to put in an accessory building or to expand a patio without causing a problem with their impervious area. So we've been talking about that. Tanner and I, and Kayla actually have talked about this previously about your zoning ordinance has a maximum impervious area by zoning for each individual residential lot. And so when I buy a piece of property that's a residential lot that has a house on it already and it's zoned R6, R11, or whatever the zoning is, and there's an impervious area associated with that, I think that is the impervious area that I get to build anything I want to. Of course, going through building permits, but I can build it out to that. I can build it out to 50% or 60% coverage on that lot. Right now, that's not incorporated into the upfront design. So the engineer can come and say, we only need 3,500 square feet of built-upon area. And maybe that's only 20% or 30% of the lot. And so it puts, there's some inconsistencies there, and it can be confusing to the homeowner. So what we're trying to do with this text amendment is to reduce that confusion and make sure that our stormwater systems are designed appropriately up front to not cause small system flooding or larger system flooding down gradient.
What are the county requirements on lots in the county that are provided by county sewer?
That is a reasonable built-upon area. There is no minimum for that. And I think, you know, Tanner and I have thought through a couple of residential subdivisions that have come through and talked with the engineers about, could you do it at this zoning level? Could you do 50% or 60%? And if all the lots were homogeneous, then it would be really easy to apply that across the board. One subdivision in particular had a couple of very large lots, and so if we applied that 50 or 60% imperviousness over that entire lot, that may be too much. You know, you don't want to have somebody with a 40,000 square foot lot that has a 20,000 square foot impervious area limit. And so that's where at the discretion of the administrator statement comes in for those larger lots to try to not be overly burdensome on the developer and engineer up front.
I can tell you that my concern is this, is the fact that we don't have any lots in the town of Benson. Anything that we're marketing to is gonna be lots on the ETJ, which is under the town of Benson, but also we have the right to choose to go to the county as a developer. And so take Dog Eye Road where we're working on right now. Right now, I've got 24 lots right now that are slated right now, and I can obviously choose either one, so this doesn't affect me really, or affect us. But if I had to meet 100%, there would be no way I would entertain coming into the town of Benson.
What do you mean
Because
100%?
it would cost too much.
What do you mean 100%?
If I had to build out to 100% of each
No.
lot, is that what you're saying?
No.
Right.
R6 is 50% and R11 is 60%, is that correct?
I'm not sure about, in this example, in R30, it is 50.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
But it's more restrictive than what I could do in the county.
Yes.
So that means, why would I be enticed to come into the town and subject my homeowners to city taxes and other costs and take more development costs with infrastructure that we put into place if it's less restrictive and cheaper for me to build in the county?
Good point. The ETJ is reviewed by the town.
That's right.
And if you're outside of the ETJ, then it would go to the county. I don't think there is the ability right now for the county to review development plans in the town's ETJ. In fact, the memorandum says otherwise.
But their response in the county, at least what I'm doing in Wake County, is the BMP is for us to do annual inspections and do the stormwater systems and do the annual inspection. That's what they've just voted on, right? For Johnson County to start January 1, is to start doing annual inspections on the stormwater devices?
Johnston County will not do those inspections. That'll be required of whoever owns
The
that.
HOA or
The
whoever, or the
HOA
developer
or the
will be-
property owner, yeah.
That's right,
Mhm.
okay.
And it's required right now. It's just not required at a deadline of July 1, January 1, whatever, by the county. It's already required.
Okay.
And, you know, what I imagine we're going to see, because I've seen this in other communities, we're going to see more creative designing to design around some of the requirements. So I think what I've heard some of the development communities say already in response to the county changes is we're going to have ponds everywhere. We're going to have stormwater ponds everywhere. Not necessarily. We're running some examples with an engineer in the county to show that you can actually use what you already have and maybe not increase the number of ponds. And I'm not going to be naive enough to say that we're not going to lose some lots. But it isn't going to jump from a project that may have 2 ponds specified up to 5 ponds. So, you know, it's if you already have to have a pond to do attenuation, detention, then all we're doing with the increase in the impervious area is making our ponds a little wider, a little bigger, a little deeper. This, in my opinion, kind of saves the homeowner at the end game. Not necessarily the first buyer, but maybe the second or third buyer that wants to add additional things. And it gives them the flexibility, and it's clear. This is your zoning, this is what you're allowed per lot. I'd also, and I have a couple of suggestions, and I should have gotten this to Tanner earlier, but I did not, and I apologize for that. But I would recommend that we put a statement in this text amendment to something along the lines of the minimum impervious surface per lot served by an on-site septic system cannot be less than 6,000 square feet. That aligns with the county. And that's only for those lots that are served by septic. That would be in the ETJ, likely not in the town limits.
But the county does not inspect any of these. It's left up to the homeowner or the realtor.
HOA.
The HOA typically,
The
not the
HOA.
realtor. Yeah, so the
What
ponds.
if they don't have an HOA?
That's one of the things that the county is working through right now, trying to figure out what's the number of lots, what's the size residential development that should not have to have a pond. May still have to have a stormwater permit, but some way to keep those 5-lot, 10-lot subdivisions that are large lot and are served by septic from having to have a pond and then have a homeowners association for 5 lots or for 10 lots. And so what has been proposed is if you have 19 lots or less, you can be exempted from attenuation, which is the detention component. If you're 19 lots or less and the increase in your post-development discharge is 8% or less. And so there are some exemptions to allow for those large lot developments.
So in those exemptions, if you already had the ponds there and this came about later, now there's houses sitting on those ponds. That's what I'm worried about, and I've always asked the questions. We've had retention ponds right here in town. Some of them are grown completely up. Nobody takes care of them. But I know for a fact 2 have been filled in and there's houses sitting on them. And I've always asked, who's responsible for that? Because I was told it would never happen, but it has.
So one of the things that we should really look hard at is putting these into a GIS system as easements that cannot be undone. Like, so the county requires that ponds are placed into drainage easements and recorded on plats. Does that mean that there's never going to be one that slides by gets missed, you know, at some future time. No, it doesn't. But there is a database of SCMs that the county maintains, and I believe that the town is doing the same thing. You've got Ray that is overseeing that. So hopefully, you know, we find these things, we learn, and we get better with what we're doing going forward. And who's responsible for that, I would probably send that to Ike.
Talking about enforcement? Well, I think in general, I'd answer your question by saying if it's a large enough subdivision that has a homeowners association, we require that to be written into their covenants that they're responsible for it. And also that the covenants contain a provision that if they fail on that responsibility, the town can go in there and do the maintenance and assess the association, which then will have to be passed on to the lot owners.
Most municipalities that I deal in, such as Smithfield and Wilson Mills, make us sign a contract agreement with the municipality that says we're gonna be responsible for that stormwater system until we turn it over to an HOA.
Yes, and there's a recorded operation and maintenance agreement
That's
as
right,
well
that's
that goes with that. That says the responsibility for oversight and maintenance of that SCM goes with the land. It's perpetual. Yeah. This is kind of complicated stuff. I enjoy it, diving into the weeds of it. But what other questions do y'all have?
I'm not smart enough to ask the questions, okay? That's why I looked over at William, because he's involved in this more than I am. I know we sit up here and we have got a text amendment, and we sit here and pass this thing, and we have no idea what we have just passed. It's happened in the past, and then why did y'all do something that stupid, or why did y'all do that? I don't know. I don't even remember it because it was a text amendment and I really didn't know what all was about it or just exactly what I was doing. I mean, I'm glad you're here with the county because we've had a lot of questions on everything from the county. Well, if I build this in the county, I can save $10,000. We are just trying to get, as close to the county so people won't look at Benson and say, hey, I can go 2 miles out of the city limits and I can build what I want to, and it's not gonna cost me this fee for doing it. We want to be just as friendly as we can, but we want to do the right thing.
And I would agree with that sentiment and also say that I'm sure the town also is looking long-term at the citizens that buy into these developments and making sure that they're covered as well, you know, long-term. And, you know, lessons learned. There is no perfect policy. There is no perfect ordinance. There is no perfect design. We learn as we go forward. There's a lot of this stuff, you know, this is more of an art in some cases than it is a science. One of the things that we've learned with the county is the process to approve lot level stormwater control measures is cumbersome, very cumbersome. It is resource intensive. The county has tried to make it as simple as possible for homeowners and the general public to understand how to design something simple. So they can add a patio or they can add a pool without causing a problem. But it is very cumbersome on the staff level for the review. And it can be, if you've got to go to an engineer to get an engineered design, we've had a couple of those come through the county for lot level. There's the engineering fee and the installation, you know, that comes along with that. So the more we can engineer that part of it out and take care of it up front, the easier it is not just on the homeowner, but on the town resources as well.
Well, let me ask you something. Are you expecting to vote on this tonight, Tanner? Because I'm like Will, I don't understand it well enough, and I need to get with you and ask some more questions. So what's the feel on that?
That's totally up to you.
Well, I would like,
We voted on tonight.
Ma'am, I would like to table this to a later date until I can understand it, because I'm like him. I don't want to sit here. I think too much of that has gone on in the past, and I don't want to sit here and make the same mistake twice. So I would like to make a motion to table it.
Are there any specific questions you would like us to be able to prepare?
No, I just need to sit down with you and talk to you, and you tell me what is going on with this, okay? And whatever questions, I'll come to that.
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
Well, I really think it's
That'd be
it's
fine
about
with
our UDO. You stepped in to redoing the UDO. We worked on the UDO for over 5 years, paid big bucks out for a company to come in and spend all of the time, and then they presented it and it didn't go over, and you're still working on the UDO. I didn't really realize that much about a text amendment, but it got into a little hot water our last meeting when we approved the text amendment, that I really didn't know exactly what I was approving, and that's on, that's probably, wouldn't touch on this, but I just want to be more clear on what we're doing. If we need to sit down and bring somebody in that is going to be building these subdivisions and stuff and have a word in it, and I know they want it to go their way, but somebody, I'm not going to go into the construction business at my age and start doing anything like this where this would make a big difference to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it would make a big difference to my children that's going to be growing up here. And as far as tabling everything, I understand where she's coming from. And when you table something, it can get just thrown back and never done. So if we'll go forward in sitting down with you and finding out just exactly how close we are from being like the county, I don't want to be 50% more on anything that we're doing, and I have one of the county inspectors or somebody call me and said, have y'all lost your mind? Well, probably so, we have, but I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm trying to answer their questions either. Stormwater, I'm all about it. I understand more so now than ever before what we have to do to go forward, but we have got some stormwater issues right here, right now, that's on the table, that people can't do anything with the property that they've got because of stormwater lines under their property. I think I would have known it if I bought the property to do something on it, but anyway, this text amendment, and it did say final action date October 14th.
Well, I got a motion on the floor, Mr. Mayor.
That motion, if I understand it correctly, is to table it until the next meeting. Is that right?
Yes.
That way you can kind of-
Till
Yes.
the next meeting?
Don't you have a meeting? We have a
We
meeting
do.
coming up.
We do, okay.
The regular session?
The Thursday.
Regular session, is that okay?
We'll come, I'll get with Tanner and Beth, we'll come prepared to be able to answer the questions.
Thank you.
I would like to see a copy of the counties. I mean, because, 100%, this is, I understand the ease of use on the end consumer, but ultimately it's the home buyer's responsibility to know what they're buying when they're buying it.
I would agree.
And as a realtor, it's my job to make sure they know what they're buying when they're buying it during their due diligence process, right? But on the other hand of this, I worry about affordability, which we already struggle with in the town. When, if I've got a subdivision and I can put 24 lots, and then you increase impervious surface and that takes that down to 20 lots per se, that means that $80,000 or $90,000 lot, what it's costing me right now to develop, has just become $110,000 to develop, which means that $400,000 house just turned into a $550,000 house. because my lots are about 25% of what my build cost is. So every time we add another red tape restriction that costs us more or creates less usability of land for the builder or the developer, we increase the price of the house, which means it becomes less affordable for the people that live here.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I just
That's
can't
the
explain
concern
it.
that I've got.
Right, and I'd like to invite all of y'all, and I'll send the information to Tanner to distribute. I'd like to invite all of y'all to an educational session that the Johnston County Building Association, BIA, Building.
JCBA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be putting on in November, and we have an engineering firm that's working with one of the home builders to look at some examples. How would this change what's there? What additional costs might go with it? So that question's been brought up, even just for the county's piece of it, not this additional zoning BUA addition. And, that's, we're working that out, so that'll be in November.
And this is
November the
yeah.
what?
I
We
don't
don't
have
know
that
yet.
date right now
Well,
in
this is
front
a
of me, I'm
hot
sorry.
topic everywhere. I mean, I went to a seminar in Wilmington for 2 days last month that was nothing but stormwater because we manage HOAs. And now
Yeah.
with these new requirements coming on, HOAs have never
Yes.
budgeted for this before.
Right.
We're having our initial inspections in different towns and counties that have never been inspected before, and you're looking at $10,000 to $25,000 is the repair estimates I've got to bring the ponds back up to meet the code or the county, and it's not in Johnson County, that's Wake County, what I'm dealing with now. But and I'm having to go to these HOA homeowners and say, hey, you've been paying $300 a year in HOA fees. Guess what? Next year we've got to spend $25,000. So that $300 a year is not optimal anymore. And if Johnson County follows what I think they're fixing to do and follow Wake County and all of the rest of the municipalities and start requiring these inspections annual, you're looking at $500 to $1,200 a year for an inspection by an engineer, and then we've got to do it by July
A
1st.
certified professional.
Yeah, and
But
so
explain to me, what if you came to our HOA, or you or our HOA, what if you came to us and told us the same thing, and we told you, well, we're not paying you anymore, we're gonna dissolve our HOA?
you don't have it, you're going to get fined by the county. You don't have a choice.
These are some great questions.
Everybody.
I have a motion on the floor.
Everybody has to be, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
I have a motion on the floor.
Is there any discussion?
I would just say, and
We'll run it on.
I know we're running on, if we're gonna have an informational meeting in November, why wouldn't we table this until after that meeting so that we could all learn about it at that meeting, about what the county's doing, instead of doing it in 2 weeks?
We can do it like that, but right now, I got a motion on the floor to table it until when, November, after November? When is the meeting?
I'll get the date. and let
Thank
know.
you.
November,
He-
regular board meeting.
We could do it the work session of December, if that works, because that would definitely be after the November meeting, whenever.
Let's not hurry, huh?
All right.
Does that work for you?
Oh, yeah, that's fine with me. I just read the vote.
Table this until the work session in December, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Now,
Thank you for being here, Ms. Beth, and for answering questions.
I'm gonna pull some mayor privilege here, and I know that, I got a note that Mr. Dupree wants to talk about, his stormwater stuff or something.
Drainage.
And I know that during the business session, we don't have a public comment, but he's here, I wanna let him, because we did that. That's the board's call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody all right?
Amen, yes.
Mr. Dupree, you wanna come forward and tell us what you want?
Thank you for listening to me. I moved here 7 years ago.
Can you just state your name and address?
Terry Dupree,
State your address.
102 South Augusta.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I moved here 7 years ago when I retired. I'm a Navy veteran. Every time it rains, I flood. 5 years, I've cleaned the drains myself, and I'm tired of it. Town never comes out and does anything. They have destroyed my driveways with their trucks, cutting down, trimming trees that's not even on my property. And I'm just tired of it. So I want to know when somebody's going to come and fix it.
What's
The
your
drain's
address?
there too.
What's your address, Mr. Dupree?
102 South Augusta,
We will get right on it. All right.
because they have kept one of the drains off at West Main. There's a small one across the street. I've got the only working drain, which is a 2-foot hole, 4 foot of about 2 foot wide, bricks laid in there. I get all the water off Parish Street. My house is flooded. There's been so much drain there.
If you'll provide Angie with your telephone number and contact, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay. Because, I mean, I'm not going to deal it no more. I'm not cleaning the drains no more. That's not my job.
All right, so is it okay, we have our interim town manager, all-around good guy?
Yes.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good.
Cool. Thank you.
My number is 704-223-8102. Thank you. Thank you. You too.
D, response to local government commission for the auditor's findings, recommendations, and fiscal matters for FY24 annual audit.
Yes, sir. In your packet, you have a response to the local government commission that we're required as a town to provide because of the findings that were in our fiscal year 24 audit. And basically, the response that you see is to the performance indicators that we had found in the audit. One of those was, of course, the fund balance was a negative 11.98%, and it was primarily due, and the auditor pointed that out, to overspending the line item budgets in the general fund. And so the answer, of course, is, and we're doing that now, is to stay within the budgeted line items. And if something needs to be spent above it, it immediately comes to the board for a budget amendment. Not doing the budget amendments at the end of the year, and you don't know what budget amendments or what budget line items are being overspent during the year. In the water and sewer fund, actually, you got to recall, this was the fiscal year 24 audit. It did not take into account that you did a water rate analysis, and the fiscal year just completed, fiscal year 25, these rates were in place. In addition to that, you had a rate increase for this fiscal year, and if you recall from Ms. Wood's cash flow analysis on July 17th, the water and sewer system was in good shape, it was making money. So that's in place, and I put that into the letter to the LGC. As an electric fund, you all the board did make some changes to the electric fund numbers for fiscal year 25. So that audit is currently being done right now. And currently in this year's fiscal year budget, the electrical system is doing fairly well, but we're going to do a cost of service study, and that is in this letter to the LGC as well. So all of those performance indicators I did address, and I have a copy tonight, and the LGC requires that all of y'all sign that along with the finance director and myself. So if it's okay with the mayor, I'll just pass that around, and then I'll get with Commissioner Stack about signing it later this week. There really is nothing to vote on. It's just that you wanted to explain this, that we have this, and for y'all to sign it.
So just remember, you signed this paper. So just remember signing this paper. That's what's going on in Rocky Mount right now. The news crowd say, you signed this paper a couple of years ago.
Right, that's right.
Well,
That's the paper you're signing.
You're signing something that says that those are the steps that you've got to take as far as your performance indicators are concerned. And I would highly recommend that the new manager be provided that performance indicator so that he or she knows that those are things that you have to do.
And if this would have been in effect in the past,
You wouldn't be here.
we wouldn't be here.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly right.
While we had a little tough road to hoe just
Yeah.
months ago, I think it might have been the best year out because we at least we're getting on the right track.
Well,
We ain't Rocky Mountain, we ain't gonna be $30 million.
You see what they done, don't you?
Just curiosity, Mr. Steve, have you heard anything about the next rider yet? Any news or any updates from Electric Cities on the next rider? Are they still holding that off? Do you know?
Your representative for the Power Agency is
Okay.
sitting next to me. She can
All right.
fill that in.
They are waiting for the Duke figures for January until they determine what the rider is going to be, because the last we had discussed was coming up with the figures ourselves on top of Duke's, but Duke still hasn't provided the most recent figures. So at the last board meeting, we voted to table the rider until January so they have a better picture of what the actual coverage needs to be.
But Rider 23 will be set to fall off before January, correct?
Yes. I don't like to speak in dates unless I have them in front of me, but yes.
I understand. I don't want to tell the people they're fixing to get a third rider unless we can say that we're taking one off of their bill.
Yeah, it's, one will fall off, one will come on. I think that's just gonna be the perpetuity of it at this point,
Okay.
as long as we're in this contract.
All right. Thank you.
That would be the case, yeah.
All right.
Okey-doke. So next on the agenda is the Fire Department Part-Time Training Officer pitch by Chief Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Come to you tonight with a request. We got two openings right now, part-time firefighter openings right now. We put one out last week to fill. The other one we want to fill with a part-time training officer. I know you've heard, or if you read my reports, we got our ISO rating coming up, our Department of Insurance rating coming up in June, more than likely June. We don't know yet for sure, but it's going to be more likely when it is. So we feel this is a needed position. So the other part-time position that we got open right now, that we hadn't filled, obviously we've been waiting for the last 4 months, since July 1st with everything we had going on. The money's been budgeted. I mean, back during the budget, the money's already in the budget for that. And on the amended budget that y'all passed, I mean, it's been in there the whole time. So again, be glad to answer any questions.
And the reason it's coming to the board is because you're adding a new classification to your.
That's right, it's gonna have a whole new
classification plan.
job description, that's right.
The dollars are in the budget.
So we're doing away with one part-time fireman, and we're taking it and making him one part-time trainer.
Correct.
So same position, same pay,
That's
just
right.
different
So
classification.
the training officer will be making slightly more money
Yeah.
for part-time.
Yeah.
Because of the duties.
Okay.
And we had two part-timers to quit 2 months ago, so this is part of we're not adding anybody extra, we're just putting this in, so.
Please keep the class one.
Well, we're two now, we're not
Two,
one.
class two.
Yeah, we're
Please
not,
keep
we're not
class
quite,
two.
we're not quite like Kerry now.
I'm
It's
sorry.
a little ways away. But yes, no, that is our goal, is to keep the two, yes.
Okay. Are you gonna-
I would like a vote on it tonight, because initially when I had done this, I thought my young'un's gonna be playing football next week, and I'm still not 100% sure if he is. I know he'll be playing, but I don't know if it's on the night of the board meeting, so it's up to y'all if y'all want to go ahead and vote on it. I would appreciate it, that way we can go and get it out.
Your motion.
I make a motion that we approve.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, we approve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Thank you.
Agreement with Harney County for Fire Protection Service.
So I'm next on the list for that one. Okay, so the Harnett County Fire Protection Service Agreement, we had sent this over to ICA a little over a month ago. This agreement hadn't been updated since, I think it was 2019. They kind of done a one, and hear me out, like a one agreement for everybody, but we felt like it didn't, or Ike felt like it, and then once he pointed out, I was like, well, yeah, but that it didn't really encompass, us being a municipality. So he took out some language, added a little bit of language, and everything that he submitted to them, they were good with. So now his approval, he's got it like he wants it, and like I say, they're good with it. So that's where we're at on that, and get it back to them. And did I miss anything or anything you want to add? No.
I mean, you just said the background of this keeps your relationship for Alan's fellas to look after that part of Harnett County. They did add a lot of terms in from the 2019 draft, and I'm fine with a lot of it, but yeah, Al was right. The basic draft just had a lot of, it applied to individual departments, not municipal-run departments like his, like ours. So they took out, they agreed to every change I wanted. I couldn't change anything else right now or ask for anything else.
It's just cut and dry. I can't.
So you need a motion for this?
Yes,
I make a
ma'am.
motion that we approve.
Motion to get the mayor to sign it and that y'all agree with it, yes, ma'am.
Yes, motion on the floor. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Thank
The last on items for discussion is the discussion on rec department moving to Lee Street building by Dr. Matt Smith.
Hey, everybody. Just want to kind of come up here, and whatever, the thing that I wrote is in your agenda is basically what I'm going to ask for. We want to consider moving to the new building once it's fully furnished and once it's complete. We were kind of up in the air on whether furniture would be available in the grant. And after speaking with Kayla and Angie and Jay, it seems to be that that is the case, that we'll be able to purchase new furniture for the new building, and we'd like to wait until that building is complete before we make a move to that building. And what we don't want to do is take a whole bunch of old furniture that's antique-y like myself and move it over to a brand-new building. So basically, I'm just asking that we wait for VC3 to have all the internet, have all the phones, and have new furniture that we can take in there, desks, chairs, shelving, cabinets, everything that we need to move in to put new furniture in a new building. And then we'd also like to ask for assistance in moving some of the heavier stuff that we have, weight equipment, exercise equipment, stuff that is thousands and thousands of pounds worth of stuff. So we'd like to have some assistance in doing that, whether it be a moving company or something like that. I think that's it.
Really-
I don't know if
really
that's a
strong.
vote that you have to do or anything, but
Really strong firemen. That's what we would do.
How long ago did they look for that building?
We ain't got any
Sir?
more left. We're old firemen.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
How long are they looking before that building's completely done?
According to what I understand from Jay, they're just waiting on the VC3 to get the internet, the telephone, and then whenever we can get the furniture in there, I think that'll take care of most of it, right, Jay?
Well, let me ask you, do we have any idea how much this furniture is going to be costing?
Jay and I were talking about that. Timothy is getting a list together of everything that we need as far as employees' desks and chairs and whatnot. We don't have an exact number, but I'm assuming it's somewhere around $20,000 to $25,000.
Weren't you looking into seeing if that grant, I believe I read that grant money, see if it can be applied?
That's what it would
That's
come
the
from.
only place it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got like 180 something. Right now, that's what I was kind of working on that.
Right now, including contingency, 238,000.
So it would come out of the 238,000.
And also with this, we don't want to, whatever money's not spent, we have to give back.
Right.
So
Oh,
if we
okay.
can buy furniture with it, then we need to, we got the funds, let's use it on the Interstate building.
Yeah, so that's why we're saying that there are things that are needed for the L-shaped building for Parks and Rec to be able to move in. And if we don't use the grant dollars to do that, you're gonna have to give it back to the state next June.
Well, by all means, please use it.
Okay.
You'll get some nice furniture.
Did you
It'll
get
really
your-
tie the rooms together once we
Jay,
get all
did
that
you
in
get
there.
your water fountain?
And my wife come over here and she'll buy it. You'll spend your bit.
I don't know if that, you have to vote on that or not, or we can just go ahead and do it. I'm not really sure.
And I don't really, we didn't bring it forward to vote, it was just to let you know what we're doing and let you have any objections to it.
Why don't we?
None
vote?
at all.
Yeah, I would say don't vote until we know the numbers and know if it's gonna be paid for by the grant, if we need a vote on it.
Okay, we can wait,
Okay.
we should have an answer from the state fairly soon, Jay?
Yes, I'm waiting on her to get back to me.
Oh, yeah, so
Okay.
we can report on it next week.
Okay, all right.
I do have just a off subject question. Yeah, tonight, besides ball games out there at the recreation center, is there anything going on inside the recreation center?
At my building, right now, When I left, there was dance going on. There was a dance class going on. Oh, no, all the cars.
All the, yeah.
That's a trip
on the
that has
trip.
gone to Lancaster. They're
Oh,
gonna leave their
okay.
cars there for the week. No, no.
Okay, 'cause I was like,
No,
man.
no, it's their Diamond Tours trip, and Deb and Marilyn from the center are taking that trip to Lancaster.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah. What?
I was called by a ball team director yesterday, and he said he was looking for fields to rent after November 1st because he was told that ours are not available for rent after November 1st. Is that correct?
The ball fields at my building now are not available for rent, but they're first come, first serve after November 1st. The ones at the Vis Park, we haven't been renting because we want to let them rest. We've been talking about opening them up to rent too. We haven't made any final decisions on that yet. But no, we don't rent them after a certain time, and then we do like first come, first serve.
Is there a contradiction in that, or is it just, I mean, I would hope that if we win 800,000, if we have the ability to rent them, that we're renting them unless there's a contradiction in us not renting them.
No, well, we can't, I mean, we can rent them, but you gotta have people down there that turn the lights on and to fix them throughout. We try to let them rest for the wintertime, so they're not getting used over and over and over again, and they're getting, like, worn out, I guess.
I just know he called me and he told me he was talking to Irwin. I just want to make sure that if we've got a revenue stream, that we don't cut it off just because. I mean, if there's a reason, and I'm just bringing that up.
The reason that we've always had is that we want to rest the field.
Okay.
But then we leave them open for, if they want to come, first serve, they can go out there anytime and not pay anything. But we can open it up to rent them like that.
If we got somebody willing to pay and we could contract it through the end of the year, like he told me he was going to do.
She's gonna rent them first come, first.
He said first.
No,
come, first serve.
after November 1st, they can do a first come, first serve. Before November 1st, they have to rent it.
How long do they
For free.
use it?
He told me through the rest of the year, and so at least.
Well, we did have it at a 2-week, I think I told this at the retreat, we had it out at 2 week. You had to rent it out like 2 weeks, you had to come in every 2 weeks, but then we opened that up with the lack of being able to pay online and everything. We opened it up so they could rent them out further.
Okay.
So Matt and I have actually had discussions about this exact topic because I posed the same question you did. And for the CC fields, yes, they need them to rest, but also we know that those bottom fields get very wet, and in the winter, as much work as they would be putting into those a lot of times compared to Vias. So yes, I will say we'll get back together and talk about looking at renting Vias for the winter because you and I have the same
They
thought
were talking
process.
about the CC1 and the CC2 fields.
Right.
Is the one they were inquiring about. That's the one they told me that said shut down November 1, that they couldn't rent them past November 1, and so they were looking at other fields elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll figure
Yeah,
out what the
I mean,
logistics
we
look
can
like to
discuss it.
see.
There's nothing that
Yeah.
can't be discussed.
Okay, all right.
Let us do that.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Sorry to put you
No, I'm waiting, man. There's somebody else got something, I'm sure.
That's all right.
No, you good?
Okay, all right.
I had something, but with that attitude, I don't want to.
Talk about the parking lot.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Since he announced his retirement, he's getting worse.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted him to tell me, is I'm just not doing it anymore.
Do I hear a motion to go into closed session?
I make a motion, we go into closed session.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a concern, and I was looking to see if, for the comments for the commissioners, but I don't see it on this right now. But I need to make this comment. All right. Since last Wednesday, I have had several phone calls about group homes and in Benson. I didn't even realize we had a group home in Benson. We have two. Yeah, I found that out today. We have two. The one on Main Street, I understand that a zoning letter was issued to the owner. I don't have a problem with having group homes. I have a problem with safety. Now, the one at the 700 block of Main Street is one I'm really concerned about. I'm concerned about both of them because from what I can understand, the one on Harnett Street, and you were going to check that out for me. Did you find it? Did you find the place? Okay.
We are getting in touch. We got in touch with the property management, and we're also tracking down the person actually renting the property. So I'll have more information for you definitely tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But like I said, I know people need places to live and stuff, but my concern is the safety of the citizens of Benson. Now, on the one on Main Street, the people are really afraid they are really afraid because a young lady has moved in there that they have some issues with. She's walking from place to place on their porch and stuff like that. So I want us to look into it. And I want the town attorney to look and see what we can do, because the first thing I want to know is why the board didn't know anything about these group homes and stuff. Did you know anything about
Yeah,
it?
when they moved into the one on Main Street, I received a complaint, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I emailed Ike, and I think Ike came back and looked into it and said that, I mean, pretty much they're federally protected, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I know they have the fair,
Back if you
right.
recall, right, what you're talking
I know,
about,
I
yeah.
definitely know I had a
You
conversation.
can't zone them out, I can
It's
guarantee
been
you
a
that.
year ago.
Yeah, because I got several phone calls when when that house sold, and I remember specifically having a conversation with Kim, and I think Ike was part of that conversation because we looked into it, and I think it was pretty much because of the federal protective status. I don't think.
Well,
we
I
could
know they
do
have the
that.
fair housing. Yeah,
we
I
couldn't
know
do
that. And
yeah.
like I said, I'm not for anybody not having a place to live, but I am for the safety of the citizens of Benson. I am really. And it's a lot of older people, it's a lot of widows on that street, and I really have a problem with that. So, attorney, I want you to find out what we can do to make us, or what steps we can take to make it safer for those people on that street. Now, the one on Hornet Street, I understand police stays up there half the time. People have died there. I didn't even know nobody had died in the house. Somebody died up there. I knew nothing about it. But things like that, I really have a problem with this board not knowing what is going on.
One of the things that Tanner and I have found out in looking at the house on Hornet Street, there are basically two kinds of, if you want to call them halfway houses. One of them is like a family care unit that is licensed and it has formal treatment. The other is something, and I contacted the School of Government about it. It's called a sober house, and a sober house is essentially somebody who takes in somebody who's addicted to either alcohol or drugs and allows them to stay in the house. State law doesn't require it to be licensed, and that's because you can do that if you're not providing formal medical treatment for those individuals. So that's one of the things we're looking at on the halfway house on Hornet Street.
Okay.
Is that situation. I'll talk further with Ike about it, and we're concerned about the safety as well.
Right. And the one on Main Street as well. I think it's 700, the 700 block.
We'll look at both.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Understood, I'll look into it.
Anybody else?
Now, make a motion, we go into closed session, general statute 143-318-11A6.
Good enough for me. All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Okay, we're in closed session.